that's why I'm well compensated.
Yeah, we suck ourselves.
I'll get somebody else there.
The culture is actually damn good.
Congratulations, folks, you made it to November. A big decision is upon us all. Obviously, I'm talking about the games you might attend. Football's at the halfway point, basketball and hockey have just started up. Which do you choose? Only one of them or all the above? Good news is you don't have to fret that much. With SeatGeek, the sponsor of this video, the best deals on tickets are just a tap away. The resale market is intimidating. And in my case, I'm looking to go to a few Penguins games this year. So I get onto their app and sort available tickets from red to green on a 1 to 10 scale. It'll give me a view from where I'll be sitting, as all tickets are verified for authenticity. And when you download the app, you know to use the promo code TREE to save $20 off your first purchase. I've used SeatGeek for over a decade and I'll be using them for a while to come. But enough waxing poetic. On to the video. Beware of spooky and ghastly sights on Halloween. Enter a haunted place with limbs and ligaments scattered throughout MetLife Stadium. There will only be horrible football in this house of abominations. Only the worst of what the NFL has to offer. Fumbling away as the evil chases them at every turn. Punting Malachi Corley. Seriously, Malachi? You pulled a fucking Deshaun Jackson? Did you not pay attention in class or something? Instant lockout of the week. Get the fuck out of here, Corley. Get out. Out! I don't want to see you or the Jets anymore. Got so many damn chances to do something, but the offense is dead on arrival. Standard Thursday night football. Houston can't do jack and shit either, so all they need is fucking something. Jesus, Jets, can you not be pathetic? At least they're finally scoring points in the second half. And the Texans are doing their standard begging their opposition to win the game. It's a long drive, but New York has third and long. No, I'm not expecting much here.
Four-man rush. Rodgers to the end zone. And Wilson! Can he one-handed and stay in bounds?
Jesus Christ, Garrett Wilson literally did the Jordan pose. Apparently we all have to drink cayenne pepper and water this week. Donate your paycheck to Garrett. The Jets get to pretend that they're still relevant as they rise from a ghastly affair to get to 3-6. Houston got too generous, and the team finally bit their damn hand. Am I surprised that it happened? Not really. The Jets were favored for a reason. They've been pulling this shit all year and they look extremely fraudulent right now. Do they even have an offensive line? They're one step away from picking up guys off the street, it's so bad. Stroud got sacked 8 times and could do nothing. Not to mention they just lost Kenyon Green for the year, but considering how he struggled, that might be for the best. This is a lot more than losing wide receivers. This is just embarrassing. Get your fucking shit together, Texans. And do it now. Playing the Raiders these days is like receiving a golden ticket. There's endless jubilation since it's going to result in all but a free win for their opponent in a given week. Even if there are many elements going against the team, say, not winning a game at home this year in a god-awful team defense, still an easy win. You're playing a tourist trap. It checked out weeks ago. Joe Burrow's gonna absolutely dominate like he always does. 5 touchdowns further decimate what's supposed to pass as an NFL defense, and he's still unsatisfied. They didn't even have T. Higgins and they destroyed the silver and black. It was a clinic. A mid-tier team beating up on a lower-level opponent to grind for XP. The only hope for fans of the autumn wind is turning the TV off and doing yard work or something. Gardner Minshew has devolved into garbage Minshew. Yet it somehow gets worse. Oh no. They're at the point of playing Desmond Mitter? I am so sorry, Raiders fans. I somehow underestimated how shit you are. Just let the Bengals kill you out of mercy. At this point, you can argue that continuing the year is a war crime. And the purge continues. Luke Getsy and a few others have been told to fuck off and never return. Chicago did try to warn you guys. I told you, Browns fans, Famous Jameis is a fun kind of terrible to watch. He's a Benghazi, you never know what to expect from him. This Winston Cup is one with Costco stats. Bulk everything, especially turnovers. Oh, Jameis never figured out how to stop throwing terrible passes to the other team. The Turnover Bakery now runs a concession stand in the Factory of Sadness. The Famous Jameis experience. You beat Baltimore, yet look like puke against the Bolts. Liquid LA just did the typical Harbaugh thing. Crush them with strong defense, possess the football, and pound it down their throats. Smash fucking mouth. The score doesn't do it justice. Berea had absolutely nothing today. Chalk it up to another all but free win for the Chargers. Another simply to keep pace in the wild card. Cleveland season's done. All but cooked a char in a broiler, but at least Winston's entertaining. Like a really bad B-movie. He's not Deshaun Watson. That's all that matters. Enjoy your 5-win season. Well, Broncos, at least you kept it competitive for about a quarter? Everyone with a brain felt that Denver was going to get exposed sooner or later, but this was their chance to prove us all wrong. They failed miserably. Don't feel too bad, Baltimore's an absolute machine during the season. Lamar was all but perfection again. Dicing what was looking to be a sleeper defense to be put to sleep. Him and Zay Flowers had complete chemistry, devastating them through the air as King Henry crushes those beneath him with the ground attack. This is the peak form of the Ravens. Do you really think Bo Nix is beating this? Most quarterbacks not named Mahomes can't. They tried every trick in the book, but it was a beatdown back to their place in society. Don't get too panicky, you're still over 500, Broncos. It's all but an expectation to lose to the Ravens with that offense. You're fine. Get back on the horse and ride again next week. The same goes for Baltimore. I was half expecting to play Journey to Rome Part 1 today, you know that? Another blown lead was anticipated, but they proved me wrong. Keep doing so. MetLife Stadium should be burned to the ground. It's the only way to save us from all the terrible football that's played there every week. We can't just have one shitty team, there has to be another. The Giants just make it too damn easy to mock them. Every fucking week, please just change up the script a bit. Commies are all but doing the T-pose to assert dominance, it's embarrassing. Almost as embarrassing as Danny Derps having 0 yards of passing in the first half. He did throw for a touchdown though. His first at MetLife in 672 days. They wish they were back there, especially as the Commies launch endless waves of swarm attacks to beat them into submission. Pretty easy to do with Jaden Daniels being all but unstoppable. But leave it to the G-men to give just a morsel that maybe things could be different. The offense is finally doing things. They brought the game back to 1 score. But did anyone expect them to do anything after? The derp will simply keep on derping. Defense sells the game with a deep ball to Olamide Zacchaeus and a face mask penalty. Well done. Washington gets to 7-2 and a hot date with title contention. The Giants' reward? Oh, God! An atrocity taking place in Germany. Where the hell are my long knives? A big event happened on Tuesday. Something that will shake the core of this nation for a long time to come. The people have spoken, and a new leader is making his way to D.C. I'm obviously talking about Marshawn Lattimore. He's back on a playoff contender that desperately needed secondary help. And for only a 3rd and 4th rounder, the price wasn't super steep. Who knew that going from the Saints to fucking Washington would be salvation? It's like we're back in the 80s again. Just watch, Dallas goes back to being a basement dweller next. To best describe the Dallas Cowboys, think of Ezekiel Elliott. A shell of his former glory deactivated because he thinks himself above standard protocol. Jerry Boy wants to believe he's above everything as the league's shadow emperor? Then the result will be a hilarious drama-filled freefall into the pits of hell itself. Breaking news! Mike McCarthy's still an idiot. Faking a punt at his own 40 down by 1 score. Someone save this man from himself. Apparently you can't be flagged for pass interference on a fake punt. And apparently you can't be flagged for being exposed as a pretender yet again. Atlanta laid down the hammer and a big fat steamer on the Cowboys' ambitions. Those ambitions only made sense to about 3 people, but the Falcons get another game to pad their division lead. You could call it an all-in performance. ATL even had something resembling a pass rush today. Hey, if the Cowboys keep chopping their own legs off at every given opportunity, it'd be foolish not to take it. You thought it was just this loss, Dallas? You think Dak and CD are gonna save you? Well, they're hurt now. Dak for a few weeks. You are fucked with the largest of F's. Don't worry though, Jerry Boy still believes in this roster and this staff. He had some of that fandangled reefer his players talked about and it opened his mind. He just needs to make a reference to Michael Irvin 30 years ago. Which is where Jerry imagines the Cowboys are right now. Don't worry, Cowboys fans, your salvation is coming. A big-time wideout that Jerry Boy's had his eyes on since college. The immortal Jonathan Bingo! You traded for him? The dude's done fucking nothing and you traded a 4th This was truly a game of games. One that occurred on this day. I'll simply let the action on the field take center stage as the good Lord above intended. He's a fucking asshole. If he were merciful, he would have sunk this stadium into the abyss to save us from such horrible atrocities. Bane had the wrong target for his act. This is a far worse disaster than what he pulled off. Do you like bad football? Do you like unforced turnovers and fuck-ups? Do you like miserable fans? Then this is the game for you. Tied at 10 deep in the second half because neither team can do a damn thing. Both understand the rules of Tank Bowl. I respect it. Tennessee may have forced a fumble on Drake May and scored a touchdown to take the lead, but they're in front of the home crowd. They have to pretend their foolish playoff ambitions are coming back to life. It all comes down to one final drive for New England, taking care of a weak Titans defense to get down to the annals of the red zone. But time is running short, and past attempts have come up empty. Last chance, Patriots. Godspeed.
Patting the ball. May scanning. Loads of time. He'll roll.
Nope.
He'll run. A sidestep. He's ready to throw. Nobody's open. End zone touchdown.
The Titans imploding. Never saw that happen before. Drake May pulled magic beats out of his ass to bring this game to overtime. Unfortunately for him, there were only a finite amount in there. Turns out the Patriots lack pieces on defense and aren't facing the Jets. Tennessee and their suspect offensive line's just gonna bully them in the trenches to eat pretty much all the clock available. The best defense is offense, and this gimme field goal gives them the lead. It's gonna be up to Drake to pull off the greatest heist in his career.
May rolling, throwing back. Down the field, intercepted.
He was caught by infrared sensors and shot by turrets. Cheer up, New England. This gets you one step closer to Travis Hunter. This is a great thing. Tennessee can deal with this pesky winning. You're gonna get the real prize. It's one your organization needs badly. Here lie two dead franchises before you. One has been rotting away in the corner for years. The other's been using necromancy to try and keep themselves alive, yet failing miserably at it. All the cap spells and restructures of men have lost their potency. What you get are two really bad football teams. Two groups that need wins to give themselves something. Anything, really. Carolina at least is just terrible. The Saints are pretending they aren't. And it's an uncomfortably close contest for them. Nola's ability to generate yards upon yards of offense is doing nothing since they can't convert them into points. Back and forth it goes, and we all hope the Panthers win for the sake of laughter. Their defense is somewhat doing what they need to do, yet the Saints' offense is reminding us all how the first 2 weeks were an outright fluke. Honestly, it'd be pretty funny if they lost to a bottom feeder. One starting a broken Bryce Young, of all things. They're allowing him to perform competently with long passes and pass interference penalties. Good for him. He deserves something positive in this world. Serves these stubborn Saints executives right.
And Hubbard slides through the defense, breaks through the 5, toward the end zone, slides in safely.
You want us to take you seriously as a franchise and you're out here losing to the Panthers? The team on pace for one of the worst point differentials in league history. Don't you dare blame injuries for this bullshit. Carolina's just as battered as New Orleans is. It's fucking over, Saints. You're lower in the standings than a 5-alarm fire. You've lost 7 in a row. The team's a vegetable in hospice. Chris Olave suffered his 6th concussion in 5 years as Derek Carr's giving him the Austin Collie treatment. Just pull the damn plug. Trade Marshawn to a real team so we can have a chance to win again. And then send Dennis Allen with a canoe into the Gulf. Forgive them, Lord, for they have sinned against you. We all sat around wondering why Dennis Allen lasted this long. He sucked in Oakland and he more than sucked in New Orleans. Loyalty is a dangerous vice in the NFL. And the Saints more than proved that with how much of a train wreck their season's been. They took my advice about the canoe. Here's a paddle. Start rowing into the Gulf, Dennis. Excommunicated to a life drifting in the abyss of defensive coordinator jobs. Since Sean Payton's left, Allen's always had that placeholder vibe. Like a Madden-generated coach with no special attributes who was just there to fill a spot. One with no real reason to be there besides pretending that they're competitive. Did he make a really good shrimp boil or something? Certainly wasn't guiding a locker room, he lost that shit a while ago. Another placeholder and special teams coach Darren Reese will be interim to drag this corpse to the end. This is Nola's legacy. Bitching about ref ball and stubbornly believing they were just a Derek Carr away from truly competing. Now the hounds of hell have come. The fans are finally celebrating. The delusions are crashing down. Time to finally bite the bullet, ain'ts. Hopefully with a complimentary firing via promotion for Mickey Loomis. It doesn't matter if it's in a place where Miami can never win. This is as must-win as it gets. Not even thinking about division, but just to have a chance to make the playoffs. Tua's back and revving at full speed, so the training wheels are coming off the offense. Perhaps we should keep the training wheels on Keon Coleman, especially after that gift of a pick he gave up. Buffalo struggling in the first half of a game. What a novel concept for 2024. Don't worry, they'll snap out of it with an awkward McDermott speech at halftime. It's a tale of two halves. The second one is a complete shootout. Now this is the game that was advertised. Blow after blow after blow would be thrown in a bout of heavyweights. Offense is shining and defense is unable to keep up with the onslaught. Even the Dolphins were able to find life with the missing piece known as Tua. If only he was healthy the whole year, but they'll take what they can get. The Bills just can't shake off their prey. Miami's fighting to live, and they more than do so with a long drive near the end of the fourth. The home crowd is shocked. Touchdown Jalen Waddle. Tie game again. But the Bills have a chance to respond. The 2-minute drill gets them to the fringes, but chances to go further are unsuccessful. It's all going to come down to a 61-yard field goal. Pretty ballsy, especially with Tyler Bass at the helm.
Wind is subsided. 61-yard try for the lead. It is Owens. He's got it. He's got it. He's got it.
Well done, Mr. Bass. You get to keep your job. Call it vengeance for wide right, but the narratives call for Buffalo to lord over the Dolphins at their home. They will do so with ease. Especially as Jalen Waddle tries that old Madden trick of running back to your own end zone. It doesn't work in real life, Jaden. And the Bills all but secure a home playoff date in January. Your season's all but finished, Miami. Just pack it the fuck in. You can simply blame it on injuries instead of anything you guys did personnel-wise. It's perfect! The Dolphins can be like Tua and call this critic slobs who eat chips on the couch. Now I take great offense to that comment. I eat chips near my computer. Bears? You gonna do anything with how shitty your play is? Can you ever not live up to the fucking stereotype? No matter what this team does or attempts, they exist to be a locale franchise and NFC North punching bag. Arizona's at least developing as a team. They play hard and do whatever it takes to win. They weren't even anything special in the offensive front. Chicago's just so damn inept that the game was literally handed to them without a fight. Does this team even prepare for things? Do they bother to care? It's almost as if the players are openly mutinying on the hacks in charge. It's just before halftime and you give up a running touchdown of over 50 yards? To a fucking Star Wars character? You are not a real franchise. Bears are doomed to merely feed Virginia McCaskey the souls of 100 fans every hour for her sustenance. Not firing Eberflus when bringing in a new QB, that's totally worked out well for you fuckers the last 2 times you tried it. As tradition, it's garbage time and Caleb's out there to die like he has the last 55 minutes. Sadly for Eberflus, he merely tweaked his ankle. He has to get his work in, you know. The Cardinals, simply by existing, caused the Bears fan base to literally shatter into 1,000 pieces yet again. Don't worry, Matt, just bench Tyreek Stevenson and not use Cole Kmet at all. That's totally gonna solve their litany of woes. Why wasn't he fired a year ago? Oh, right, the McCaskies are incompetent and cheap. Before the game, Amon-Ra St. Brown walked into Lambeau with a shirt that said Green Bay sucks. He wasn't just trolling. He was being prophetic. In the first game outside a dome this year, Detroit felt right at home. Terrorizing anything resembling resistance while grinding them into a limited edition cheese. Afterwards, sprinkling their shredded remains on a nice 5-course Italian dinner with Packers fan wine to wash it all down. Lions are good at not only bullying their opponents, but completely embarrassing them in all facets. They just let the Packers do it to themselves for most of the game. The Motor City lays out some obvious traps, and bam, dipshit brother gets stuffed into a locker. And their hunger will never satiate. Nor will Jordan Love's ill-advised transformation into the new age Brett Favre. All the way down to the hero ball and god-awful turnovers. Detroit merely had to bring out some Adirondack chairs and soak up all the misery like the rain pelting the field. Absolute destruction. The Packers can say it was self-inflicted wounds, but this was a lot more than that. Their opposition's built to make teams do this shit. Back to second tier, Green Bay. The real teams are taking center stage. Still weird to say that about Detroit. I feel like everyone who watched this dog shit lost today. Not for what the Eagles did on the field, but how Nick Sirianni nearly mangled what should have been an easy win at every damn turn. It's fucking Jacksonville. They're run by literal clowns. Yet Philly's coached by one. We can't even talk about the outstanding feats done on the field of play. Saquon's out here pulling off bullshit you can't do in Madden, and they're still fucking it up. Thank your friendly neighborhood Sirianni. You're up 10-0, and Peterson decided to be a moron and go for it at his own 40. They predictably fail, so the answer is for Nick to counter with his own idiocy. Going for it on a 4th and 3. Failed too. The fortunate thing is that Trevor Lawrence is stagnating and the cons care more about AEW than their team. Saquon's a god and scores a touchdown, so they go for 2? We're gonna go up by 3 scores with a PAT, you fucking moron. There was no reason to do this. There's also no reason to worry as the Eagles march down the field yet again and score a touchdown. You know what happens when you fail the first 2-point conversion? You have to fail it again due to the pass fuck-up. You think it's fine, you say? The problem is that things tend to compound. And not only after a Jags touchdown, but a fumble recovery by Trayvon Walker to drive not only Philadelphia, but the rest of the football world insane. 1-score game. Give it another drive and things go off the rails. The tush push isn't working, so Sirianni just breaks and overthinks every damn thing. Just kick the fucking field goal from there, my dude. I can only say that he absolutely hates Jake Elliott, because the next time they score a touchdown to go up by 2 scores, they try for a 2-point conversion because they were down by 12. They fail. Know what would have prevented it? Kicking the fucking extra points. Of course, Jacksonville scores a touchdown to troll us all instead of this being an easy segment because fuck us all. Make it a 2-score game. Well, they didn't try a field goal when there were easier shots, so why not try a goddamn 57-yarder and miss? It's the fucking Saints game all over again. Sirianni's pissed away at least 9 points and learned absolutely nothing. The bums in the crowd could do a better job. Now Jacksonville can commit grand larceny like the Falcons did, and Nick's the only person to blame for it. Oh great, now the Jags can pretend they're still relevant instead of a cow being slaughtered. Just cue the music.
Lawrence has time, looking for Johnson, and it's picked off!
I don't care that the Eagles won. Fire Nick Sirianni before he steps foot in that locker room. He and Dougie P can take the same bus to Clown Town. I think a Greyhound bus is leaving in about 15 minutes too. Be thankful that high-end talent bailed out his incompetence yet again. They'll pretend to be shocked when they try the same shit against real teams and get their asses handed back to them on a platter. God, fuck this team. Wasting all this talent like this. There's one thing I'd all but guarantee in the NFL world, it's the Seahawks never ever playing a normal football game. Reeling from whatever the fuck last week was, this was a must-win affair against a hated rival. One trying to salvage a season overtaken by injuries and insolvency. The Rams may have players returning, but the only thing Seattle gives them is a sense of inferiority. This game itself is inferior. In the House of the 12s, there's just a lot of stagnation. Mainly from the Seahawks repeatedly shooting themselves in ways that would make Plaxico Burress cringe in disgust. LA's gonna keep it as close as they can in a tepid, low-key game. Seattle can do much of nothing for long stretches minus splash plays by JSN. Even then, the game's tied at 13. Gino and the Seahawks are moving the ball with a chance to take the lead. Near the goal line, they can make their strike.
1st and goal from the 6. Smith can't find anyone. Backpedaling. Throws picked off. Intercepted in the end zone and brought back out. Geno Smith picked off by Kitchens.
I was under the impression that Gino was good. What the fuck was that? Seattle special teams can even block a punt, generating more hope and a chance to tie the game. Inside the 5 yet again, and Smith goes back to his Jets form. I think the Geno magic is gone. To be fair, it's expected from a team that exists to give their fan base heart attacks on repeat. It's the same shit over and over again. The Rams can bury them, but are unable to get past this defense. But as I said, the Seahawks must be cardiac. That is the only way they know things. The heart attacks must continue thanks to their final drive.
From the 14 on 1st down. Smith to the end zone. Smith and Jigba. Touchdown!
Turns out Jackson Smith and Jigba's really goddamn good. Maybe Geno has some magic left in him after all. Like anything resembling Seattle's ambitions, it's gonna be warped in the chaos realm that is overtime. The Seahawks will get ball first. Continue to punish a battered team to hell and back. Until they get to the red zone. The passing game's been working for you? Don't care, run the damn ball to minimal success. And then 4th down, you're going for it in overtime, and you're running that play? Are you brain damaged? Just take the points and trust your defense. Not that it matters since Matthew Stafford's dicing up this papier-mâché D like it's nothing yet again. Maybe that's why they went for it. Just finish them off. Make these fools suffer in the shit stew they made.
2nd down and 6. Fake to Williams. Stafford fires downfield. For a touchdown by Robinson. The Rams win it.
That's it, I'm done with the Seahawks. They're a bunch of fucking frauds like they were last year. So many self-inflicted wounds they'd be 3-1-2'd in the real world. Get the fuck out, Seattle. Get out. Don't come back until you learn how to play a normal football game. LA, thank you for exposing these fuckers for who they are. Your reward is a division led by Arizona? God, what have you done? NBC flexed out Jags Eagles for this. Maybe they predicted that Joe Flacco would have been named permanent starter, thus saving us from Anthony Richardson sucking all over the place. The trade-off was everyone sucking. This was the worst display of the sport I've seen in about 3 hours. Jesus Christ himself couldn't perform a miracle on this crap. The Colts are terrible. Minnesota merely exists to fulfill a self-destructive prophecy. Seriously, it's a cavalcade of abysmal football. Will there ever be consistency for the Vikings after a strong start? Who the hell knows? Both teams running off a cliff with haste, only to respawn and jump off the cliff again with haste. Eventually, the bodies pile up and Minnesota can cross safely with back-to-back touchdown drives. Very shocking after that first half, yes. But this game leaves me with a sense of bitter disappointment. Joe. Why, Joe? Why do you betray your 5 fans like this? He was supposed to be the most glorious meme in the world and he's arm punting it away. We wanted your elite form and you gave us nothing but elite checkdowns. Say it ain't so, Joe. Say it ain't so. Now we'll have to cringe at more 2-for-19 performances by AR5 and pretend he's developing. This is why a good chunk of you are pro-choice. So you can abort deformities like this. Minnesota won in spite of themselves, shockingly defying their horrible curse. But let's bury this travesty out back and never talk about it again. Tampa Bay, you may have no wide receivers, but I have bad news. You're going into Kansas City. This is all but a guaranteed loss since they have the favor of both the gods and their servants donning zebra stripes. And it's not going to be a quick or clean death either. It's going to be one of agony. Chiefs are best known for it this year. They like their opponents to squirm. It makes them taste better. Quiet first half leads to a false sense of security. Let the crew have the lead. Buccaneers make for good sport when they're up by 7. Then they attack. This comes in the form of dinks and dunks that would make New England proud. They learned from their hated rival. The ultimate demoralization. 2 pounding drives as unforgiving as the rain falling down on the ground to take the lead. Tremble in fear. The nukes are going off at Arrowhead. Yet there's a twist since the league's addicted to close games and drama. You'd think it'd be over, but Samaje Perine malfunctioned thanks to a forced jolt by what's probably the NFL itself. Tampa's getting another chance. Poor Baker's trying everything he can to win this. A solid comeback throwing to the likes of K. Doughton and Sterling Shepard. Amazing catch, by the way. Trey Palmer and Ryan Miller. Apparently he changed sports after an excellent hockey career. Foles doesn't go for the kill since he lacks power. The game is tied. But sucks for them they left too much time for Mahomes. So they fucked it up and we're going to overtime? Figures. Of course the Chiefs are going to get the ball first. You think they'll let it go? Fuck no, man! They'll put together another demoralizing Patriots-esque drive that dinks and dunks and doinks their opponents into a figure 4 leg lock. There's no rope to save you. The time's come to tap out and submit.
Caliendo comes in, he's eligible. Here is Hunt for the touchdown. Kansas City remains unbeaten.
And that is how the Buccaneers lost their 3rd straight. The bullshit is always real in Kansas City. Couldn't you have just made this a blowout so it was a quick segment for Sportsball? You really have to imitate the fisherman from that Geico commercial all the damn time? Everyone's just getting annoyed with it. Welcome to 8-0. It may have killed New England, but their spirit infected another host.
Bring out Jadine! Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost.
Bring out Jadine!
Unit lost.
Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost. Unit lost.
Thanks very much. Right on. See you on Thursday. Right.
3rd and 6 for Philadelphia. Hurts has time. Now locates Barkley out of the backfield. Barkley slips 2 tackles and picks up the first down, jumping up in the air to the 30.